Welcome back to the Mom Mix, where motherhood meets mixtape memories, real talk, and that 90s and 2000s R&B and hip hop that we were raised on. I'm your host, Sabrina, mama of a teen and a toddler, still somewhere in between a Starbucks run and a breakdown. Today we're getting into the thick of it, the real. This episode is called My Life, My Life, My Life in the Chaos, inspired by no one other than Mary J. Blige herself. So let's get right into it. We're going to start talking about internal struggles. And honestly, internal struggles are like background noise for moms. Whether you got a baby on your hip or a teen rolling their eyes, you're constantly managing more than what's seen. And if folks really saw the mental gymnastics that we do to hold it together, they probably put some respect on our names. Let's talk about it a little bit more. So moms of toddlers are overwhelmed by what? Constant physical needs, no personal space, disrupted sleep, tantrums, the guilt of giving them an iPad versus survival time, among many other things. Moms of teens, we're dealing with emotional push and pull, trying to guide them while not losing their trust, worrying about peer pressure, and low-key being scared they'll make the same mistakes we did or worse. Then you throw in working full-time, trying to keep your romantic relationship alive if you have one, and then maintaining friendships that you have that you already feel like are holding on by a thread. It's like we're holding up this house, our house, this job, this family, all while our own foundation is cracking. Now, before we get too far, I need to sit with this song for a second. I want you to sit with it too, because Mary just wasn't singing it. She was speaking to the parts of us that we hide. The parts we drown in diapers, deadlines, and doing everything for everybody else. Let's slow it down and unpack how my life mirrors motherhood. So a lyric that I want to talk about is, take your time, baby, don't rush a thing. That lyric right there, it's a reminder, a whisper we never give ourselves. Because the world doesn't allow us the grace to fall apart. Even when we're breaking inside, we're expected to show up. Not just show up and be there, but show up 110,000%. That's not even a number, but just show up and be everything. Mary's whole vibe in that song was about being misunderstood, overwhelmed, but still here. And that's what this episode is about. Still showing up even in the chaos. Mary gave us the anthem, but let's talk about the aftermath, because when the song fades and the house gets quiet, the internal battles get louder, don't they? These are the things that we don't post, don't say out loud, but they sit in us, they grow in us. Let's name them. First one is work-life imbalance. We feel guilty at work for not being present with our kids and guilty at home for not giving work our all. That's crazy. Whether you clock in at a job, run your own thing, or hold it down full-time at home, the balance feels like a myth. It's a fraud. We can never feel like we are balancing everything perfectly. Because what they don't tell you is that the real job starts before the workday begins. Packing lunches, finding shoes, breaking up arguments, navigating team moods and toddler meltdowns before the workday begins. And then you're expected to switch into professional mode, smiling on Zoom calls or team meetings, or showing up to meetings like you didn't just wipe a nose or have a mini breakdown in your car before coming in. And the guilt is layered. You feel guilt for not giving 100% at work. You feel guilty for missing the field trip. You feel guilty for feeling guilty. You are never off the clock, just simply switching roles back and forth. You're hustling to prove that you can still be sharp, still be relevant, still bring value, all while you're trying not to lose your peace, your presence, or your mind. It's like being two people, but both are just running on fumes. It's very hard to do that. The next thing is a romantic strain. Intimacy becomes a checklist. You're tired. You're touched out. But you don't want to lose the us either. That relationship that used to feel like the safe space now sometimes feels like another job. And it's not always because anything bad happened. Sometimes it's just the silence, the tiredness, the fact that you're both just trying to survive and haven't truly seen each other in weeks. Yes, you've seen each other in the house, but seeing each other, talk to each other. Date nights turn into postponed plans. Conversations become logistics. Did you pay the daycare? What time is pickup? Who's cooking? That kind of things. You miss the butterflies. You miss laughing until your stomach hurts. You miss flirting. And let's be honest, it's hard to connect romantically when you're emotionally and physically drained. You love them, you're just tired. But even saying that seems taboo because moms are supposed to push through, smile, be available, make it work. But what we need is softness, intentional effort, less pressure or presence. And then the last one, friendships fading. Motherhood is lonely, not because we don't have people around, but because we don't always feel understood. You miss deep convos. You miss being checked on. You miss literally getting dressed up and going out. Going out all the time is a lot. But for some who literally are in the house all the time, getting dressed up to hang out with your friends is a thing that sometimes moms look forward to. I feel like I look homeless 99% of the time, but when I'm going out, I like to put on my makeup and dress up, and that 1%, I look good. But, I don't know. You miss being silly. Plans are canceled, then you stop getting invited out. You watch your friends' lives continue and you're happy for them, but also a little heartbroken and wonder if now you're an afterthought. Then one day you realize the group chat got a little quieter, or you're no longer part of the we should all go plans. And it stings a little bit. This is a real thing. And as much as people are like, no, it's not, you're in your head, it is a thing. It is. But listen, here's the flip. Friendship, like love, needs maintenance. And just because your life is in chaos doesn't mean your friends' lives aren't chaotic either. Everyone has something going on, but sometimes everyone has to meet people where they are and don't just chuck it up to it is what it is. When that's the attitude, that's how space comes in between friendships and negative thinking and feelings slip in. And I'm just going to go off on like a little tiny tangent because I think it's important. A little side note. I cannot stand that phrase. It is what it is. I've been guilty of using it when I'm at my wit's end, but guys, we got to do better in our various relationships. It sounds harmless, but let's take it in the context of how we're saying it. It's the verbal equivalent of wiping your hands clean, surrendering without even trying to fight. Sometimes, okay, you need to just be okay, I'm done. But hearing that from someone about a relationship you're involved in, whether it's family, romantic, friendship, it stings. And when someone has said that to me because I'm an emotional person, it has caused pain. And vice versa, if we're being honest, I only say that when I'm pissed beyond measure and I want to make sure somebody feels some type of something when I'm talking. Now my folks know what the deal is, so hold me accountable. But that's not healthy, okay? This phrase has worn out its welcome in our culture. The phrase, I feel like that's a quiet resignation, a survival response dressed up as peace, okay? And it's not really peace because you still got things going on in your mind about it. But survival isn't the same thing as healing. I don't want no one to quiet quit me. All relationships take work, and I feel like I'm worth the work, and I feel like my relationships are worth the work, that I currently have. And I want to work for all the relationships that I have. So instead of saying like it is what it is, are we saying that because we don't feel safe enough to ask for a change? What if we replace that with, it doesn't have to be this way? That's the real opportunity. That's growth. So if we're serious about healing and moving out of chaos and chaotic environments, we should find better words. And that starts with me. Okay. Thank you for my tangent. Thank you for my TED Talk. All right. So here's my mixtape memory. The FOMO edition. And I still feel like this is on loop sometimes these days. I remember when I had my first baby. Okay. All of my friends were still outside and I was inside. I was breastfeeding and of course crying. I know I told you guys before I was going through postpartum depression, not realizing what that was. I was scrolling Facebook trying to see what people were up to, craving any type of morsel of a life I used to have. I wasn't just mourning freedom, I was mourning me. And that fear that they moved on without me, that made me uncomfortable. And they were moving on. They did. But here's what I learned. Just like you work to keep a romantic relationship alive, you have to fight for your friendships too. Don't just sit and sulk. And I'm still learning that. Pick up the phone, send the text, tell the truth. I miss you. I'm overwhelmed. I still want us to hang out. I want you to come over. I want to come over. It's crazy. I thought I was so busy then, but I'm very busy now. So I will try to send the text when I remember, but it's harder now because there's so many things going on. But anyways, motherhood shouldn't be a sentence to solitude. You can be a mom and still need your crew. And hopefully your crew needs you too. And hopefully my crew and my people still need me. I love you guys. Okay. So, where do we go from here? Let's talk about the remix we live every day. Side A, take care of me. Side B, take care of everybody else. Which side wins? All right. Side A, self-care. Everybody's screaming. Put yourself first. And yes, okay, that sounds good. But when? How? Do I get up for me time at 5 a.m.? Or do I sleep because it's been a night of the baby crying and then he got in the bed and he's kicking me and my husband in the back? What do I do? I don't know. Side B, family first. We pour and pour and pour until our cup just isn't empty, it's cracked. So what's more important? Truth is, both sides matter. But here's the twist. Self-care isn't just spa days. It's boundaries. Saying no. Locking the bathroom door for 5 minutes of silence. As you guys can see, that is my favorite thing. Going in the bathroom and locking the door. Or just, not going to the grocery store. Letting other things wait for a minute. Putting your family first doesn't mean putting yourself last. It's a balancing act. One day you win, one day you don't. And that's okay. So, here we are. Caught between the version of us we need to be and the one everybody else demands. But even in the push and pull, we got truth. We got perspective. And right now, these are your mom bars. 15 seconds of real talk for your real life. All right, ladies. This is my favorite one. Okay, so far. You were not lazy. You were tired. You were not failing. You were stretched. You were not forgotten. You're evolving. Hold on. Joy is coming. All right, mamas. Thank you for vibing with me today on the Mom Mix. If this episode hit home, text it to your homegirl or your mama or that friend that you've been meaning to check on. Follow me on IG at the Mom Mix Pod and make sure to drop a review on Spotify or Apple. It helps your girl out. And remember, you aren't alone in this chaos. Your mixtape still plays. Your life still matters, even in all of the background noise, even in all of the chaos. Till next time, stay loud, stay soft, and stay you. Bye, guys.